Okay, Duke, this is several weekends later and we are now back on Eddie The Ess, looking to try and get this engine sorted and rebuilt. And he's just taking the bonnet off very carefully without scratching it. And just a reminder, it was raining like hell last time we were looking at this, but we did succeed in getting the engine mounts onto the engine and onto the chassis. The problem was with that one, as we said before, we had to put it on the leg of the front of the engine to actually get the damn thing in, but it's in and the gearbox is in and under. So now, Harry, here we go again. Right, and we got a pack from James Paddock this week. Really like James Paddock, really helpful, unlike some other automotive resellers that I can mention, but I won't because it's public. And in here we had a few gaskets. I think we've got a cylinder head gasket, which is a pay-in actually. That's a really good mate, that is, the pay-in. I've heard good reports about the pay-in, top quality. And in here I'm hoping we've got various nuts, bolts and studs to help us with the head. And yes, we have. Good. So we've got, I think those are exhaust manifold studs there, nuts and washers, and head studs and nuts and bolts. So that's good. So we've got all the gear. I'm glad they sent it through very quickly, here within a day or two. And now, I guess we have to take a view about what we're going to do. This obviously has to come off.
That's going to need a massive clean up.
Needs a bit of a clean up, doesn't it? Yeah. It's caught a bit of moistness in the months that it's been laying in the garage in the dry, but it's obviously picked up a bit of moistness on the head itself. Okay, so Harry's just gone off to get some nice cleaning material to get this head tidier, because obviously it looks like it's corroded a little bit in the time that we've had it at home. Clearly that's not good, so we're going to take that off very carefully in a moment. Just wanted to have a look down here. I don't know if you can see down the hole there. There's the cam down the bottom that comes off the timing chain at the front of the engine here. So there's a cam behind that drives the rockers on top of the cylinders. And you can just see the cams just down the hole there. And I've never really seen these before. I've often heard of cam followers, but here they are. And well, I'm a bit of an amateur mechanic myself, so never really understood how these things worked. I have kind of cleaned inside these, but these are the cam followers. So they sit on top of that cam that I just showed you with my finger in the engine, and then they connect up with the push rod on the top here. So I'll just take one. So that goes into there like that. And then when we're ready, obviously I'm not going to do it just yet because we haven't cleaned the engine, but so that's how that would drop into there basically. It needs a little bit of lubrication obviously. If you can see that, that's how the cam followers work. And then I won't put that in because I don't want to lose hold of it just yet, but that goes up and down. That obviously pushes the top end of the push rod there that engages with the rocker at the top of the engine that opens and closes the valves. And certainly I've learned something today. That just mates with the cam on down the hole there, as you can see. So each one fits in there, and we've got 12 of them in total obviously to lever the rockers at the top. Clever stuff, eh? And here is a valve that obviously didn't make it to the final block. There's a big cross on the bottom of it, but just interesting to see how these valves work. I don't know if I can focus in on it. That's better. So these open and close obviously to let the fuel and air in and out. And even more interesting is I've just in my father-in-law's cupboard that he left here a couple of years back, I found a tool that I think actually was used for regrinding in valves back in the day. I don't know if they still use this technique or not. I guess it's all machined these days, but imagine you wet that bit there. That sticks on the top of the valve there, in the block itself, in the head, and then you swizzle it backwards and forwards to grind that edge there into the engine block itself, so that you get a good gas tight seal when you could focus in on it. Two sizes of plunger, one top, one bottom. So that's the old way they used to do stuff. Engineering, hey. And it kind of still works today, almost. See? So with that in the block, in the head, you just backwards, forwards, so you're just grinding that lip into a nice refined seal. And then when you're finished, take it off. Happy days. Okay, so we have the head studs in. I had to wind each of these in turn using a double lock nut just to get a good bit of tightness. So across all of those, they're in. Cleaned up the engine as much as we can. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. So we're looking reasonably tidy now, and we're going to drop in now the cam followers. Where are the cam followers? There they are. Okay, so these are going to go into each of those recesses that I showed you earlier on. You can just see the cam at the bottom there, the silver bit with the lobes, and that's what pushes everything up and down. So let's put them in.
Okay. So your finger stuck now. Okay.
They've just been WD-40'd inside that bag. And they're going in nice. Should have put them in the freezer first just to cool them down.
Yeah.
Little top tip, if you get stuck like that, you can put them in the freezer for 15-20 minutes, cool them down, and then that'll increase the chance of getting them in. You can see some are just sliding straight in and others aren't. All in. Well done. Well done, Arry. Nice one.
Right.
And as I mentioned, the pay-end head gaskets are the top of the range. So we've gone for a top of the range head gasket here. I know the other one was only on for 84 miles, but it's not worth risking blowing another one. Obviously a bit of fiddling and manoeuvring. Takes 3 or 4 hands without breaking it. Let's just stop on that one a little bit. It will go, just got to be a precision fit. There you go. All right, we're on. So that then, ladies and gents, is a nice looking pay-end head gasket, ready for the head now to go on to. So, looking good, Arry. Well done.
All sits nicely.
Sits nicely, isn't it?
Yeah.
Looks nice and clean.
Look like an engine in it,
I know. Huh. It's been a while. Right, we're going to put the rods, which are red hot because they've been in the sunshine, into each of the holes, you reckon? No worrying about... Actually, do we do that, or do we do it once the head's on?
Well, it's up to you. We can do it once the head's on, but the head's already got the followers on, so it might be a little bit of a struggle, but we can do it that way.
Alan was saying you've got to release all the rockers on the top so they don't, and then retune it after.
Yeah, I'll just do that then.
So we do that, shall we? Yeah. Otherwise we're going to try and get 12 rods in 12 holes as we put them on. Scorching hot. Okay, go and get the head. And as if by magic, that took about 10 seconds to drop it onto the studs we've just done. So the head is on. Now we've got to tighten up and work to the sequence of tightening up against the head gasket, which is now tucked under there. And it's starting to look a bit more like an engine, Arry, isn't it?
It's ready.
Yeah, slowly but surely. Now, one thing we have got to do is get the rods in, and to do that we just need to release the rockers, Alan said, just so it's not interfering, and then redo it later on. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, so we just removed these nuts off the top here, off the rack, rocker rack, so it should just lift off, Arry, shouldn't it, without too much hassle, he says. And all these should stay in because they're colleted and held on springs, aren't they? If they're not, they're all going to go skywards any second. So that should just wriggle off. Well done, mate, well done. That's it, that's clear. And away. So now we can get down to the rods, down the holes, all the way down the bottom there with the cam followers. Okay. Oh yeah. Should worry about the cylinder head nuts, I suppose. And the filing system does work. We've just been having an argument about whether or not these have washers underneath, and yes, they do. So we found a set of washers. So now we're just going to undo the ones we've just done up. I haven't done them tightly, just finger tight, and put them with a proper washer right underneath those head nuts. That's the plan. Right, now we've got all the nuts and the washers on, it's time to torque down the head properly. And in the manual here there is a sequence which you can see starting in the middle and then the opposite, diagonally that way, then diagonally that way, then opposite, diagonally that way, and then diagonally, and so on. So there's a definite sequence for doing this. I'm told it's 80 foot-pounds, which is 108.8 Newton meters on this thing. So we're just about ready to go. Arry's just doing a final check. 11/16 nuts on top. So now's the time to torque this down and hopefully get it on permanently once Arry's done his research. Okay, well, it's 30 degrees and we've made enough progress for today, I think. This is one step at a time. I know it's taking a while, but you know, we are untrained mechanics, but we're doing our best. And so I'm now going to put it away because evening beckons, but we've made some good progress. I'm happy with the head. Just need to look at the rocker covers. I've just popped all this back on to keep it dry. Obviously I'll put the bonnet over the top as well to keep it clean and free from any rain. Not that I don't think we're due any for a while, but actually, as we said, it's starting to look like we've got a engine in the car now at last. So Eddie is returning and we will be returning soon with the next update as and when we get to it. So thanks for watching. See you online on Arry the Stag very soon. Cheers for now, guys. Bye.